Greetings, friends. It is Stell from Stellwork Studio, and today I'm going to show you how to make these net bags. I'm using mine to dry milkweed pods that I had picked green. And to make them, they take nothing more than scissors, a bunch of scrap acrylic yarn, and a strip of cardboard for your gauge. There's no complicated knots, no space needed. You can just do this right on your lap. And the only knots that I use are overhand knot, lark's head knot, and one square knot. And then I'll show you how to do a hand twisted cord for the drawstrings. So keep watching and I'll show you exactly how I do this. Okay, to set up the project, I have 16 lengths, 2 yards each of just acrylic yarn. This is either leftover yarn from doing my braids, or sometimes I'll get yarn from friends that are emptying their stashes, that kind of thing. I want it to be acrylic so that it doesn't harbor mold spores, because I'm using it to dry vegetable matter. So I've got 16 pieces. I'm doing two colors just because it'll be easier for you to see where I'm at in the knotting pattern. So to start, I am going to take one piece and I'm going to fold it in half. So I'm matching up my ends and I'm just going to follow it through. Okay, so there's my midpoint right there, that loop. And then I'm going to do, I'm shaking the yarn out of the bundle here next to me. And then I'm going to take one of the same color and do the same thing. Match up. Follow it down to the end. Here is my midpoint, and then I'm going to make a, what is this, half hitch, lark's head. So I'm going to tuck that loop underneath. I'm going to fold it around, and then I'm going to grab the ends and pull it through. Okay, so I've got my foundation yarn in my left hand and my adding yarn, my additional yarn in my right hand. And I'm just going to pull that knot tight. And wow, either my eyes are not working well or my focusing isn't working well. Okay, so I've got that midpoint. Now I can open up my foundation yarn. And then I'm just going to keep adding pieces of yarn, alternating colors from the center until I've got all 15 pieces of looping yarn over my, knotted onto my foundation yarn. Okay, so I'm gonna do one here, like so. That tight and scooch it down, and then find the middle of this one. Okay, and there's that. Okay, so there's 3. Now I'll get the 2 magenta ones for my next 2. middle. Okay. And then add it with a lark's head knot. Like so. So I'm just going to keep adding my pieces of yarn to the foundation yarn until they're all on there, like so. Okay, got that on there. Here, this is an easy way to do it. You've got your yarn underneath your foundation. You get your loop under your foundation yarn. You're going to stick your fingers in there like that, and then grab and pull it through. And wow, that that stretched way out. I'm going to make sure that I have my ends matched up here. Follow it down. Hold on to my foundation and just pull it gently. Okay. Now I'm back to my middle here. Okay. So I'm going to finish looping onto my foundation and then we will come back. Okay, I have my 15 loops of 2-yard lengths of yarn looped over my one foundation cord. And now I'm going to make sure that I find the center of my foundation by matching up the ends, following it down, and then we're just going to center our looped bits onto the center of that foundation, just like so. And then we will tie this into a circle by making a square knot with our foundation yarn. Okay, so this one's in the back, this one's in the front, which means that the one in the front needs to go over the top of the X and loop through. And that will make us our square knot. Okay, so now we have 16 pairs of yarn radiating out from this center circle. And that is our foundation circle right there. All right, so we've got all of our pairs of yarn and we're going to start tying them. And that's where my little gauge cardboard comes in. It's about 1 inch. And that was the size that works best for me for my milkweed pods. You might want to go smaller. You might want to go bigger, depending on what you're going to be keeping in your net bag. So anyway, this is my gauge. I'm just going to lay that on my leg, and then I'm going to start with 2 of the same color. And all I'm going to do is make an overhand knot by making a loop and then pulling the tails of that yarn through the loop. And then I'm going to go over to my gauge here. I'm going to butt the knot up on the left, and then I'm going to tighten up to the right edge and then give it a tighten. So it might be a little bit longer than that 1 inch gauge, but not a whole lot. And then I'm going to move on to the next pair. Overhand knot, pull through, butt the knot up to the right hand, or the left hand, and then slide up to the right hand and give it a tug. if your hands aren't used to handling a lot of cordage, you might end up with a blister right here. So I would suggest either putting some athletic tape or a Band-Aid on that spot while you're working, just to keep from losing skin in that spot. I learned that one the hard way. You don't want to. Okay. So I'm going to keep doing that all the way around our foundation circle, and then I will be back for the next step. There. We've got all 16 of our first knots done. Now, you see I've got this first round is just pairs of the same color knotted together. So each alternating round is going to be pairing up pairs of opposite colors. So each knot is going to be one of each color all the way around. So I just pick a spot to start here and get my gauge, and then I match up my two knots here, and then I'm going to start my overhand knot. And when I'm doing the two color, I try to keep the same colors. You know, if the purple's on top and the magenta's on the bottom, then I try and keep the purple on top and the magenta on the bottom over here. So I've just got my knot butted up on the left, and then I tighten it down to the gauge on the right. Give it a tug. And now, to find the next one, I've got this here, and then this is our next pair. So I just find that knot there, and I grab one of those. And we're trying not to twist anything. We want our net cells to lay flat. So because this leg is closer to the top, I'm going to grab that one, match up my knots like so, give it a loop, pull through, and now we've got magenta on top, purple on the bottom, so we're going to try and keep it like that. Tighten it down like so, and give it a tug. And then we've got our purple here, so we're going to find our magenta here, and grab one leg of that one, match up our knots, loop, pull through, butt up on the left, and then tighten down on the right. Okay, give it a tug. Okay, second leg, next group, grab one leg, match up our knots, make our loop, pull through, butt up the knots on the left, cinch down on the right, and give it a tug. If you're having trouble getting it like to cinch down on the right there, just try and mimic how I'm holding my hands and see if that helps. So you see, I don't have the knot way out here. I've got it right here on the gauge. So I'm holding it steady on this end, and then on this end, I'm just kind of like holding this loop kind of steady right here. I'm not pinching it or anything. I'm just holding it in that spot with this finger mainly. Just holding it there and then kind of nudging it into place while I pull with these fingers on the tail. All right, I'll give that a tug. And I will keep, well, I'll do one more and then I'll keep moving around off camera and then we'll come back for the next group. Okay. All right, we've got our knots matched up. Make our loop. Butt our knots to the edge there. Get our colors lined up. And then cinch down to the right. Okay. All right, I'll catch you once I'm done with this round. There's our second round of knots done. So you can see the netting cells starting to form. So this is about the size of our diamond. If it's stretched out, each cell is going to be about 2 inches long. Shortens up obviously when you open it out. And that seems to work pretty well for me. Like I said, if you need smaller, a closer net, then just make your gauge thinner and work to a smaller gauge. Now, we are going to go back to pairs of same color, which is why I tried to keep the, oh, why did I do that? That's not what I want to do. Though that would look kind of cool, I think. Okay. Because this is magenta and that is magenta, I want to do magenta for this cell. Okay. So we're going to start here and then we're going to just keep working our way around. So I picked my spat, and because we've got the net matrix started, because we've got both a row or a round of same color and a round of both color knots done, now it will be fairly easy to keep your place and, you know, be able to find your next knots. So we've got this knot here. So we used one leg of this knot. So we're going to grab the second leg of that knot and then we're going to find its pair by going to the knot above, following it down to the knot below, and grabbing your same color. And doing the same old thing. Loop, pull through, butt our left knot's up to the edge, cinch our right knot down, like so. And then there's our next leg to work with. Got that there. So we follow that up to here, follow it down to here, and this is our next pair here. Okay, and this is all you're going to do. You're just going to keep finding your next pair until you get all of your same color pairs done, and then you're going to move on to the next set, doing opposite colors until you have reached basically the end of your length. And I'll do this next knot and then I will pull out my almost finished one and I'll show you what I do for the top to do a drawstring. It's a super simple finish. It's not anything fancy. I might come up with something fancy soon, but okay. So that one's got a good start. Here's the one that's almost finished. You can see, if I open it up, see that pretty net matrix there? Yeah. Okay. So we're down to here. And so I've got ends about yay long, shorter ones. So I need to pay attention to what the shortest length is. I want to be able to do, you know, another cell, and then I'm just going to tie off a small section at the top, and then I'm going to trim away what's left. And really, let's see. No, yeah, this needs to be the last round. Okay. So here's one knot, and here is the next knot. So yeah, I'm going to tie my last netting cell here. And let's see, give each an individual tug, that way there we go. That purple one was not as tightened down as the pink. Okay, so that's my last netting cell, and now I'm going to do one more overhand knot. And I don't have a gauge for this one. This is just, I'm going to make a loop or an opening big enough to thread a couple drawstrings through there. So we're going to do a double drawstring closure. So just like so. And then I find my next set here. That last one looked like dual color because I'm working with it was a self-striping yarn, and so that piece happened to be different colors at each end. Okay, so there's the last cell, and then our drawstring cell. Okay. All right, I'm going to finish that up, and then I'll show you how I trim, and then we'll start working on the drawstring. I only have a few left to do here, so I figured I would try and do them on camera without running my mouth. Eh? That would be kind of cool. Okay, shh, I'll shut up. Keep doing that. How was that for a sweet maneuver? And by sweet, I mean super awkward. that's our last one. So here's my foundation. Just get it all stretched out lengthwise and straightened out at this end here so that I can find all of my ends. Okay. Now I'm just going to take a few of my bundles here and line up those knots and cut about 1/4 inch from the knot. And keep working my way around. 2, 3, the way. And cut about 1/4 inch from the knot. Okay, there's my 4th bundle of 4. So that is all of them. All right, so that leaves me with my net bag with a bunch of little loops at the top. So next step is to make a drawstring, and I'm using the same leftovers from my hair braiding. And so again, it's about a 2-yard piece. Going to find the center, and then we're just going to do a cordage twist. So I'm going to hold it tight with my left hand here, and then I'm going to twist away from me with my right hand. And we're just going to fold it in half here so that it's kind of kinking and twisting back on itself, see? And I'm going to hold it there like that. I'm going to bring both tails over here. Now, to make, I can't even remember what kind of twist this is called, but anyway, this is how I make all of my natural fiber cordage too. So you can go out and grab some wilted daylily stems. You can make this, you can make cordage too, or just about anything that you find outside. So you're going to twist away from you, grab the bottom with your finger, see how my finger's in between, and twist toward you once, okay? Now you've got the untwisted one on top. Twist away and then turn toward you. Twist away, turn toward you. And I'll just keep doing this for a few turns. And every so often, just kind of untangle your ends there. And see, I'm always holding on to the spot. And see? It just gives you a tighter twisted double thickness cord. That'll be a bit stronger than your single thickness of yarn. So I'm just going to keep doing that. And when it looks like I've been boring enough, I'll turn the camera off until I get to the next step. You can see I'm not really like twisting with my wrist. I'm just rolling it. Can you see that? How I'm rolling it down my thumb, and that provides the twist. All right, I'll finish up my two. I'm going to make 2 of these drawstring cords, and then I'll be back with the next step. Alrighty, we've got our 2 drawstrings all twisted, and then just overhand knotted at the end. So now, to do a double drawstring, going to first feed the first drawstring through each loop in, each drawstring loop in succession, trying not to twist them. And sometimes this is a pain because I didn't make the loop very big or something. Okay, there's one. And then the next one. 2. Oh, come on. 3. 4. I thought I made these big enough. Weird. 5. Note to you. Make these bigger than I did. Okay, oh, just one more. Cool. Okay, that's the last one. So then I find my 2 ends, and I overhand knot them together like so, and trim off the knot, or the first knot anyway, leaving the second knot. Okay, so we've got our first drawstring in, and I'm going to bunch it all up to the middle here, like so, and then we're going to count to the center. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, see I'm pulling a pair out, 1 on each side. See? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. So here's our middle. And so now I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to take my second drawstring and I'm going to start threading it through here. Making sure that I am following the correct succession here. Just following it through in the exact same path as the first one, just starting on the opposite side. That's all. Okay. Okay, and there is our halfway point. I'll flip it over again, and then keep following. So this end with the knot, that'll be one of our pull cords. And then when this comes out the other end where we started this one, we'll knot that together, and that will be our second pull cord. I've always preferred doing a double drawstring whenever I make a drawstring anything. Just because it cinches together so neatly. I like it a lot. You just grab the 2 ends and pull, and zoop, closes right up. And this must be the last one. Okay. Okay, so once again, we reach the end. Line up our ends like so. Give it a little overhand knot, like so. And trim off that first knotted end. There. Okay, now we've got our 2 drawstrings, and we can just pull them together like that. And then to open, I'm gonna drop that down toward the floor there, and we just grasp on either side, and we can just pull it right open like that. And then when you want to close them, you just look for your knotted ends there, and you can. Okay, now we're ready to take this downstairs and fill it up with some milkweed pods. Alrighty, let's go do that. Alright, I'm going to attempt to show you what I do to fill these bags. Just because they're so floppy, they don't want to like stay open very well. So what I do is I've got this tube of cardboard that I've taped together, and I'm just gonna put the net bag over and pull it down as far as I can on the tube. And then all I have to do is flip it over, and then I can start filling it with whatever of my pods that haven't started going bad on me. A lot of them have started to open. A lot of them have started to feel mushy because they've been laying on my floor here for a week or so. I don't know if I'm getting my face in the way or not here. But anyway, that's how I do it, is I keep it over this tube, and then once it's full up to the top, I just slide the cardboard out and cinch up the drawstring like I showed you, and then I can tie it up on the rack like the rest of them. So anyway, I hope that was informative, interesting. I do this netting, I work on it while I'm just like sitting places, like say we go to the food truck court, or you know, I'm sitting and waiting for a kid in an appointment or something. This is a project that I can just throw in a purse or even my pocket, because all it takes is your 16 lengths of yarn and that little strip of cardboard for your gauge, and you're essentially ready to roll. So I'm going to keep doing this and get these hung up, but I shall see you next time. Go ahead and give this a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. Hit the notification bell if you want a reminder. And I'll see you next time. Thank you very much.